Whoa, 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 where are you going? You have to stick around and listen to the Karate Kid Fanatics podcast hosted by Levi Dennis. Today's guest is me, actor Scott Hamm. I play Ear Gauge on the hit Netflix series Cobra Kai. We talk all things Cobra Kai and about my upcoming film, The Stay. So make sure you check it out and make sure you also strike hard, strike first, and no mercy! Buddy, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, man. Am I cut off? Do I need to go down a little bit? Or are you good?
That's perfect there. That's perfect.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah. So, how'd you initially get into acting?
Hey, man. Wow. We just get right at it, dude. I like it.
Yeah.
I was I'm kind of what they call in everything a late bloomer. I do things late. And I had already finished high school and bounced around in colleges and thought I wanted to play baseball or do something with athletics for a long time, because two things that I really loved in my life man, we all try. I love sports and I love film and cinema and movies. And I grew up doing those two things, watching movies, playing sports. And then after a couple years after college, I was kind of toiling around, figuring out what I wanted to do. And long story short, I went and interned for a publicist out in LA. I wasn't in LA. I was in Orange County, which is south of there.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I started doing little odds and ends for her. And I said, I'd always be bugging her, like, how do I get into the business? How do I start acting? How do I do that? And then she kind of eventually pointed me in a direction and said, well, you got to take classes and you got to see, if you're any good at it. And then you got to get an agent and all the basic steps. And then I just kind of went from there, man. And I loved it right off the bat. I thought I was going to be really, maybe self-conscious and scared. But once I got into class and started getting up in front of people, I loved it. And there we go. And that's how it all began.
Yeah. So what was your audition process for Cobra Kai like?
That one was on. I'm kind of a bi-coastal guy, and I have representation out in the Southeast as well as out in Los Angeles. And I got the audition through my Southeast representation, and so I got it. And then at first I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm right for this, but I can definitely play like a douchey dude. I've done it a lot of times, and so basically I just got the audition. I read it over. I thought I got a character in my head for it. I saw they had ear gauges and I happen to have pierced ears. So I threw in my earrings that I don't wear too often anymore. And, turned on the old camera and gave it a whirl, man. Sometimes stuff that you're not maybe think you're perfectly right for, you end up doing way better because you're just like, I don't care. I'm just going to go for it. But it was basically an on tape thing. Like a lot of, almost the whole business is going that way. So it was really just a self-taped audition, and sent it in and then waited to hear back. And luckily I did.
So did you do all your own stunts for that?
I did. The way that we did it was I did have a stunt double, and he was awesome, by the way. His name is Fernando. You can follow him at Fernando Stunts. We kind of become friends.
I think he might have joined this actually. Yeah.
Did he? What's up, man?
So.
He's awesome. So they brought in Fernando, who's an amazing stuntman, and a whole stunt team. And then we kind of did it like this. We went through it once with me, and they helped me out going through the choreography and everything that they had already set up. And then so I did it once or twice, and then you get Fernando in there to do it and make it really look good. And then you kind of just splice between the two of us. And he does all the really cool stuff. And I do the cool stuff too. I get to talk and do, but I just have so much respect for stuntman stuff. But that's really kind of the way we did it there. We both did the scene, and then they just kind of chopped it up together. But I think I scared him too. I almost hit my head on the pool table when I took the fall back. They're like, "We applaud the effort, man, but watch your head because we can't have you busting your head on that pool table."
So how many days did that take to shoot the fight scene?
The fight scene was one day. I had one day where all I did was get the prosthetics for my ear. And then the next day was all basically just that bar scene all the way through. So it was a full day, like an 8 to 8 day.
Yeah.
But the only reason it was in a day, I think too, is just because, again, the stunt guys are so great, and And the guys, like especially William Zabka, who plays Johnny, he's a martial artist, so he like gets right in there and does
Yeah.
his things too. So it was pretty seamless, man. It was really cool, and it was pretty seamless. And I love to mix it up. I do a little, fighting and study some stuff myself. So
Yeah.
it was cool. Other than you have to throw, you throw the punch the first time and they go, wait, that's too good. You have to throw that movie punch where you kind of circle around. And so it was, I'll say one more thing about the stunt though, not taking anything away from Fernando. The mug across the face, that was me. The mug on the head, because it was so close. Yeah, it was so close on me. They said, you mind giving this thing up?
Yeah.
Right, because my face is right there, and I hope I don't get anybody in trouble by saying that, or get in trouble with SAG or something. But no, it was really, really cool that I got to do it. They're like, are you cool with this? I said, I'm totally cool with it. Let's do it.
Did it hurt?
It didn't hurt because but it hurt a little more than I thought it was gonna hurt. Yeah. But it didn't, it didn't hurt. Like, but it like, I'm like, oh, they kind of felt like getting hit with like the heel of a shoe or something. Just like a little bop with the heel of a shoe. But yeah, it was all right. And William, or Billy, he's a pro, so he hit me right with the thing where we were all safe. Everybody was safe. And they, just to clear something up too, I did do it, but they were so good about making sure that I was safe and everything was done like top to bottom, safety first.
Yeah, I heard I don't know, I heard Ron Thomas talking about this. I think I heard that Dutch was actually originally he was supposed to be in it. They thought that he was more starting the fight than you did.
That is 100% true. When I got the audition for it too, it was with Dutch. Like my whole thing in the bar was with Dutch. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. Not only is the Cobra Kai, but I get to get into it with Dutch, who was like the king jerk from the first one. And so, yeah, I didn't know that it changed until I got there. And there was also another scene that I had before that fight where we get into it separately at the bar. Like I have a pitcher and I spill it on him, and we kind of get into it a little bit there. But
absolutely,
that got cut out. And then for whatever reason, Dutch was unable to make it. But even cool. I mean, that would have been really cool. But I got it even cooler. I got to do it all with Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah. All right. So next, let's talk about your upcoming movie, The Stay.
Oh yeah, thank you, man, for mentioning that. It comes out real soon, 2 weeks, March 16th. It's on Apple TV and iTunes right now for pre-order, but it's also going to be everywhere once March 16th. So we'll be on Amazon, we'll be on Comcast, Dish, a whole slew of other ones. But those are the main focus right now. Is the Apple's got it first right off the bat on March 16th, and it's like a little thriller. Like if you like a little. Couple people go stay in a cabin and all kinds of shenanigans happen.
Tune into that,
yeah, check it out, man. I hope you like it, and check it out. This one was kind of my baby. It's the first time I've ever directed like a film, so I directed it too, and so it's my it's like my child. So
aren't y'all doing some kind of giveaway with that too?
Yeah, I posted it on my thing. We've got a few days left. We do have a giveaway. It's on the Stay's official page. It's on which is the Stay Film. It's on my Instagram page, which is ScottHamm8, and anyone can enter. If you pre-order the film, you just send me a DM or send me a screenshot or something that says you order it. It's going to go into a hat or a hopper, and then 2 people will win. It'll be a $50 Apple gift card, T-shirt from my production company that I just started, and like a signed still of the film, the movie poster. So yeah, thanks, man. See, you got all the info. You can help me out.
Everybody check that out.
Please do, man. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. I want everybody to see the movie, and I welcome all the feedback. I love it. You can feedback directly to me. You can go on IMDb and review it. And
sure.
I could take it both ways if you love it or hate it. I'd just love to hear your thoughts.
I'm sure I'll like it.
Thanks, Levi.
What was it like to appear on an episode of NYPD Blue?
Oh, that was, I've been lucky to do shows that I like a lot. Like I already was a fan of Cobra Kai before I got season 2. I had already watched season 1 and loved it. And then, but same thing, I was an NYPD Blue fan. And that one was shot out in LA, and it was shot downtown. And it was really cool because one, you get to dress up like a cop. I was a full uniform street cop, so I got the full garb on, walking around LA. And then Dennis Franz, who was the star of the show at the time, my scenes were with him, and it was a blast. And actually, a little inside thing that day, the commissioner of the police at the time showed up on set. It was
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was Chief Bratton at the time, and he showed up, and I wanted to meet like all the cast and crew, and he was walking around shaking hands and stuff. And I was like, wow, man, I got a cool a day to work on this thing. Yeah. But it was fun. And I think Dennis Franz is an actor that's been around. Maybe not everybody knows him, but if you look him up, you're like, oh my God, that guy's been in every freaking movie.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to work with him. And he was such a terrific actor, and a really nice guy too.
Yeah. So was all your stuff for Cobra Kai shot in Atlanta?
It was all shot in Atlanta. It was supposed to take it takes place in Big Bear technically, but yeah, we shot it all in Atlanta. And yeah, it was great. I think a lot of people don't even know. They're like, hey, where Big Bear were you out there? Because I was also wearing a T-shirt from a local Big Bear high school. I've gotten a lot of like DMs and people contacting me going, how'd you get that shirt? That's where I went to high school. Or like, where in Big Bear were you? We didn't know you guys were shooting up there. I was like, no, man, we shot it in Atlanta at the, they have a studio where they do a lot of their stuff, but we got to go on location to this really cool bar and shoot it there. So it was a lot of fun, but it fooled a lot of people though. I think they really thought we were in Big Bear, especially with their motorcycle and the motorcycle ride in that episode and all that good stuff too. So man.
So what was your ranking of the original movies? How do you rank those?
Oh, like which one I like top to bottom?
Like Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, 4.
Woo! For me, this isn't a cop out because I'm not like this with all sequels, but I really pretty much like them in order.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I can agree with that for sure.
So I loved 1, obviously. I still love it to this day. I watch it all the time. When I met my wife, she hadn't seen it. I'm like, are you crazy? So we had yeah, exactly. I'm like, we had to have a movie night and watch Karate Kid. The Karate Kid to me, it was so much like a different variation of Rocky, which is also one of my all-time favorite movies. To this day, I could watch Karate Kid, the first one, anytime, any day, any place. It never gets old. It's just like a perfect movie. I love it. And then 2, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited when 2 came out, and they came out pretty close after it. I mean, I was really little, but anyway, 2
about 2 years after,
yeah. 2 was fantastic. I loved Chosen as the bad guy in that. He was so great. And then I recently rewatched 3, and I go, I like this one, but to me, it wasn't as good as the first 2. I loved the first 2 so much.
Absolutely.
But I rewatched 3, and I think I liked it more than I remembered liking it. Like when I watched it, like the bad guys were so good. Like Terry Silver was such a good bad guy.
I love Terry Silver. It's just he's such a great character. He's
a great character, and you just want to punch him in the face after like 5 minutes.
Sure.
And that's the perfect bad guy, right? That's what you want. You want to do that. You just like, I can't wait till someone gets his revenge on him. So, and then now with the way that's tied in with the series and how they're tying in, the second movie and now the
flashbacks.
Now the third movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's binging that hasn't seen it yet, but if you've seen the movies or you haven't seen the movies, you got to see them. And you can watch the Cobra Kai series without seeing the movies, but if you've seen the movies, it's like even cooler because there's so many like little inside things and so many characters they bring back.
Absolutely.
So many little things they say, as you know, because you probably know the show better than me, but I'm a fan, so I watch it all. And I can't wait for season 4, man.
For me though, it's like I don't see how. Like I guess you could watch Cobra Kai without, but I personally could never see it without. I wouldn't understand a lot of the stuff when they talk about Terry Silver, stuff like that. So
that's the thing. Those moments are so cool if you've seen the movie. So I feel because my nieces watch it and they're young and they watch it. They watch it for that young storyline. They want to see the good looking young boys and they're fighting, Ryan Zoll and stuff. And so they don't get that stuff, but they still enjoy it. But I'm in your camp, Levi. I'm the same way. I'm like, no, you have to see the movie because all that. Exactly. To know who Terry Silver is like
Yeah.
coolest, you know?
Same
The
thing
end
with
of, yeah. Go ahead. I'm
like
sorry.
Mike Barnes, like when Sam and Daniel are talking about fear, you wouldn't even understand that scene if you hadn't seen the third movie. But
There's so many things like, yes, I mean, you're right. There's a lot of little moments like that where I think about that and I think about the movies. Like I think about even when Miguel stopped in the dojo and he looked at the Mr. Miyagi picture, and I'm thinking he has no idea, like as the character in this, who Mr.
yeah,
Miyagi really is. Like it's not in
yeah,
his, and it's a moments like that are so cool to me because like Mr. Miyagi, you know, as a film character, he means so much. He was just one of the
oh yeah,
greatest, most
absolutely.
iconic characters, and so I'm with you. I think you do need to see the. I mean, you should see the movies. You'll enjoy it even more. But you can watch it without them. But I'm with Levi. I highly recommend
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the movies, man, because it makes a difference.
What was it like? I think this was your first producer credit for Coffin II.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, you're on it. Coffin 2 was my first producer credit, and actually, the executive producer on that became my producing partner on The Stay. And
Yeah.
since that, we've done a couple things together. And it's his birthday today too, so happy birthday, Kip
Happy
Tribble.
birthday. Yeah.
And but that was such a great learning experience for me. I got originally I was hired just to be an actor on it, and it was the second project I had done with Kip, and it was his baby. There was a Coffin one already. It was his franchise. Kevin Sorbo, like one of the original Hercules, was in the
Yeah.
first one, and you know, it was a low budget indie thing, and I dove in as a producer, and really I just told him, I go, I don't know anything but how to be an actor on the set. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do anything. You know, I know how to show up, hit my mark, say my line. Teach me everything you can without me getting in the way, and let me help you every way I can without getting in the way. And that's basically what I did on Coffin 2 from start to finish. I just was there from the start to finish of every day on
Yeah.
the set. And I learned so much. It helped me so much for The Stay. He was the one that actually, I wanted him to direct The Stay originally, and he talked me into directing it. He was like, this is your story and your baby, you have to do it. So he's been a big like help for me as learning
Yeah.
everything. But the experience on Coffin 2 was great because there was a lot of great people involved. And yeah, man, I just learned a lot. I still have so much to learn, but now having produced 2 movies, I learned so much more on The Stay. And then hopefully we're trying to do another one this summer, and that'll be number 3. And I just want to learn, just
Yeah.
like in
Absolutely. Yeah.
anything in sports, you know, or it's like your first game compared to like all of a sudden, you know, you're a rookie and then you become a vet
Yeah.
one day and you're like, oh my God, I learned so much and there's so much I need to know. But it was a great experience. And thankfully I had a lot of people I knew on that film. And thankfully I had Kip on my side, show me the ropes, or I would have
Yeah.
been overwhelmed. But it was really, really cool experience.
Yeah. What is it like, going from actor, producer, writer, director? What's that like? Is that ever difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. The guys do it on Cobra Kai. The creators of that, they do it too, and it's a lot, man.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't really act in it, so I should, but they do everything else, which is
They're in a
even.
couple scenes. Some of them are.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, and but the day to days, I can't imagine the day to days of doing a show like that because doing it on a film is so hard. Sometimes the hardest part for me is when I'm in the film and I have to, maybe I have a big chunk of dialogue that day or a lot of scenes that day. I also have to balance out
Then
making
you have to
sure
go to the
that,
side and look at the camera, stuff like that.
yes. And then even just the producer part of saying, okay, we have to make sure that we get lunch at this time because, you know, everyone needs to eat, needs their breaks. They need to eat. We need to make sure so-and-so showing up. So you have to have a strong team helping you out, but your mind is in like 1,000 different places. So you better, when it comes to the acting side of it, you better really be dialed into that dialogue and that character, what you're doing that day to be able to act. That was the hardest part for me on Coffin 2
Yeah.
was I hadn't done that before. So I look at myself in some of those scenes and go, oh God, that wasn't very good, because I feel like I was searching and had so many other things on my mind than what's going on in the scene. that you really have to balance that out, man. And then you add in the other stuff, which a lot of independent filmmakers, even big filmmakers, I mean, shit, Quentin Tarantino acts in all his movies, directs them, writes them. It's just so much going on, but there's really something great about it too, though, is that it's your baby, it's your art, it's your piece, whatever you want to call it.
The direction you want, not what the directors kind of want.
Right, exactly. If it's something that you don't like, or you look back in the camera and you're just like, oh God, let's do this again, or move it. You have the complete control to do that, rather than just putting all your trust into whoever's directing it that day, or you know what I mean? You just 100% trust them to tell you, when they tell you that, no, that was good. You have to 100% say, okay, was it? And they're like, trust me, it was good. I didn't look funny, my hand didn't fall. No, you're good. So it's fun. It's cool to be able to come back behind, like you said, and watch the playback and say, oh, okay, I didn't like that, or I like that. That was good. You're right. Yeah. And again, Kip helped me on the stage when I was in the scenes. He was back behind the camera, helping me out and looking, saying, giving me advice and helping me with the acting portion and everything else going on. So he's invaluable for me.
Yeah. So what was it like to work with most of the original Cobras, and especially the late Rob Garrison?
Surreal. Surreal is the word that really jumps out, man. Because like we and you were talking about, I was already a Karate Kid geek.
Yeah.
And so to show up and like start meeting the cast and meeting the people, and I always got to try and act professional because I'm supposed to be their peer. I'm not supposed to be fanboying out, but in my head I was like, holy shit, it's Bobby. Oh, holy shit, it's Johnny. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean?
It's like, to him,
Yeah, but they were all so extremely nice. Like everybody likes to get a little dirt or some story where maybe but everyone, they were so nice. And man, again, surreal. And then when we all started doing the fighting, and I'm looking around watching these dudes do karate, when I'm hearing Billy do the Kia, the Johnny Lawrence like patented Kia, I was just like, this is the coolest. This is one for me that is so amazing. And so I had to make sure to get a couple of pictures, which I normally kind of lay low on that, but not here. I'm like, I need to get a couple of pictures. Again, I had to walk that fine line of trying to be there equal while I'm there, and also I'm a fan too. So I'm a fan.
I don't blame you at all.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was the coolest. And it was really odd that he ended up getting sick and passing away in real life. And
about a year after,
right.
He wasn't even sick at the time,
And the lag in the show from when you film it to when it airs, then it became so creepily close to the same time. That was crazy. And he looked great when we all sat around and had lunch.
It was just the makeup,
and,
I mean,
they had all
what he actually looked like. Yeah, exactly.
People were kind of teasing him a little bit too, because it was a shit ton of like this white makeup on him to make him look weird. So but he was a good guy, and he was great spirits, and I couldn't tell that he was.
Yeah, I messaged with him a few times before he passed, and then I saw him online. I was like, wow, he passed. It's crazy.
Yeah, see what I mean? All good dudes, right? You message them, they message you.
Yeah, I met Billy a few years back. He's awesome too. Most of them I've talked to.
Yeah, man, that's great. See, so you know what I'm talking about. It gets surreal sometimes for a minute when you're like, oh man, look, I'm talking.
The only one I haven't been able to talk to is Chad McQueen, but.
Well, it looks like you're not the only one. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. I've not interviewed any of them, but like on DM, on Instagram, stuff like that.
Right. Just. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Absolutely. That's the way of the world, man. That's the way I talk to a lot of people, whether they're reaching out to me or I'm reaching out to them. It's like, oh, I talked to him, but my mom will always say, oh, did you talk to such and such? And I say, yeah, I talk to him all the time. Well, really? When do you see him? I said, no. On DM.
Message.
Text messages or some messenger or something like that. So, that's the way of the world.
So is there any other upcoming projects that you can talk about?
Yeah, there is a couple things. Again, coming in March 16th. This is a stay, so I want everybody to go out and give that a whirl. And then coming up soon after that, one that I was just an actor in, and it was also it was one that Kip collaborated with somebody else. It's more of it's called Evil at the Door, and it's like a like kind of like The Purge. It's like a group of dudes get together and they get an assignment to commit a crime once a year, but it's a group of them and they go do like crazy things once a year. And I get to play another kind of creepy, weird character.
Yeah.
Got a man bun going on and all this other cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't seen it yet, but it should probably be out in the summer. It's called Evil at the Door. And then I did another small one right out of the COVID, right out of the COVID-19, when we got the first green light to start going back to work again. It was like a little project all on. It was all through like this. They had this idea. It was called Confined, and it was like a police investigation over basically Zoom and DM and Instagram Live. Like that's how they were connected. So the whole thing is shot like that. So I don't have a ton of details on that project yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I thought it was a kind of a cool. Looking forward to seeing it. I thought it was a kind of a cool idea. I see a lot of other little movies coming out that are all like based around the shutdown and the stay at home and COVID. And this was one that I got to be in, and I got to play a cop that was investigating what was going on, but I could only interview the witnesses and stuff through video. Yeah, Zoom, exactly. So those two, and then lastly, we were in like pre-production on, which would be my second thing that I'm directing. We're trying to get it through and get it financed and done to shoot this summer, and it's like a heist movie. The working title on it's called Thievery, and really looking forward to that. I love a good heist movie, so that's keeping me a little bit busy and trying to be optimistic that things are going to go back to normal here pretty quick, and we can get things rolling.
Yeah. So this is probably a tough question, but if you could be in any movie of any time period, don't matter what it is, what would it be?
Oh, that is tough, man. Well, like I said, like these movies, like Rocky and Karate Kid and stuff like that, they're so high on my list because I love that kind of stuff. I love the movie Rudy. I love that. I love anything with sports and competition type movie. But God, it's hard too because Quentin Tarantino is like my favorite. I love his movies. I would die to be in like. I would say can I do two? It's going to be a tie between Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino, and this is my favorite movie of all time is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And just to be in either of those movies for me would be like, forget it. I could retire because I love both of those movies. I think they're both brilliant. They're like big ensemble casts that I think is always a cool way to go. And those two movies, man, I don't know if you've seen them, but I mean, you seem like a guy that's seen a lot of movies, but
I haven't seen those.
No. Oh, wait. Do you like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is an old movie, and it's based on a book and a lot, but you should see it. It's Jack Nicholson. You know the new thing on Netflix, that series they had about a year ago called Ratchet?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet, though.
That's bringing back like the bad guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, cool. Nurse Ratchet. And then I won't get into it. It's a fantastic movie. You probably love it. And then Reservoir Dogs do you like Quentin Tarantino? You like his style of movies?
Do you ever see like of them? So I can't really, say.
Pulp Fiction, Django, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Well, anyway, Reservoir Dogs was his very, very first one. And it's like a gangster movie with like these 7 or 8 guys and everyone in black suits. And it was his like big break first movie. For sure. And it's my favorite one that he's done is his first one. I think it's amazing because I'm kind of a sucker for because that's what I'm doing now is like the independent, small budget. And it's so hard to make a movie to compete with these huge budget movies that he did it. And he made one that was better than these huge things with like the budget of like a car. So, and I'm trying to follow that formula. Maybe one day I'll be able to make some big budget movies and have a few bucks to throw around. That's probably those two movies for me.
Yeah. Speaking about Rocky, what's your favorite Rocky movie?
Oh man, I won't go straight in order on this one because
the first one's kind of depressing. It's good at the end, but it's a little depressing there at the beginning.
I think the original's still my favorite. I mean, it won the Oscars. It introduces. I'm a sucker for the original of anything. So because I always say none of the other ones could have happened without it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a sucker for the original on all of them, but I love the first and second one. And then I think I like 4 better than
4's
3.
my favorite.
4 is awesome. 4 is awesome.
Drago is awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Drago is one of the best characters. And I know it's like if you really like look at it and analyze it, it's a fast, short movie, and it has like 3, maybe 4 montages. Usually you get one.
Yeah, it does.
And it just all happens so fast. And I love the music in it. I love the robot with Paul. I don't know I love that Rocky's finally like super rich.
Yeah.
I love everything about 4. So I rank 4.
I don't like 5.
Either set. After 4, I think the wheels start to fall off a little bit.
I like Creed 2. Creed 2 is pretty good.
I was just about to say they redeemed themselves coming back with the Creed movies. If they're going to count as Rocky movies, those were really good. I agree. But yeah, I might even be like 1, 4, 2, 3, and then the rest of them, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I love 4. It's a cool movie. I had a audition for a Dolph Lundgren movie, and I wanted it so bad because of that. Because I'm like, oh my God, this man, I meet Drago. I didn't get it, obviously, but I was just like, oh man, that would be another one on the checklist of like cool icons to do a part or to work with them. Yeah, exactly, man. That one I can remember being a young buck, being in the movies and seeing it and being like, this is crazy. And I remember the girls were like going crazy for Drago. I'm like, well, you guys are rooting for the bad guy, man, because I thought he was so this big giant hot dude with that flat top and just
absolutely.
Oh man, I love that movie. I'm with you, bud.
So when it comes to like, I'll start out with the Karate Kid movies first. Are you team Cobra Kai or team Miyagido for the original films?
Ooh, from the original films, I would say I'm definitely team Miyagi-Do. Yeah, man. I just, again, a good bad guy, you just want to see them get what they deserve. Underdog. And when I watched that first one, man, and just Mr. Miyagi's so fantastic in the first one too. I'm like, how could you not be on that team? And I hated Kreese so much in the first one. I just hated him. And so, yeah, definitely team Miyagi-Do. I think in all the movies, I'm team Miyagi-Do. And then when you get to the series, I kind of start to flip and lean a little towards.
I was Cobra Kai seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, I can see that's a good. You can change it to drop of a hat on the series. Yeah, because somebody from each dojo might do something that rubs you the wrong way, or somebody changes over from one, and that might change you too. So I think in that universe, you can flip that either way, man.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of like the combination team. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but you know what I'm talking about at the end.
100%. I know what you're talking. I almost blurted out the name of the dojo, but I won't, because like you said, if people haven't seen it yet, they're still streaming. I have a lot of people that are just that I see, and they'll be like,
some people think it's a new show.
Yeah. Well, when it got to Netflix, it like changed the game when it went off of YouTube Red and then went over to Netflix. It like gave it a whole new life. So many more people, so many more. I get like so many more people that maybe either recognize me or just from the show. Like, were you just on? And it's all since Netflix, all since it came on Netflix. Because you're right, it's just blew it up, and I think a lot of people are still in those first 2 seasons world. So I get real hesitant to say anything about the seasons because I don't want to ruin it for anybody because it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I don't want to be that guy that says something I shouldn't. But I'm with you. Yeah, with everything changing now at the end of this latest season. Yeah, people, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. Lay it on me.
Somebody asked, "Who's your favorite villain?"
Ooh, of the movies, or can I?
The movies. Yeah.
Oh God, I can't. It's a hard one, but I mean, I gotta go. I guess I gotta go with Kreese. Although I really hated Chosen. I hated it, man.
He's also in season 2 or season 3. I mean,
I know, and I loved every second of that, and I loved how they did it too. I loved that because I hated him. I wanted wanted Daniel to get him, but I was like, I remember looking at the two of them. I said, there is no chance Daniel beats this dude up. Like, his martial arts are like on point. He's just like ripped. He's twice as big as him. And I was like, there's no chance. He has no chance against this dude. But he was a good bad guy. But I think Kreese is the ultimate bad guy, especially from one. I mean, any dude, when you're already an older man that takes a bunch of teenagers and turns them into jerks and like six them on other teenagers.
Yeah.
And then they say like really shitty things to Mr. Miyagi. Like, you look back on it now and they're like, man, they were saying like racist stuff to him and like crazy things about the war. And I'm like, these guys are terrible dudes, man. So I'm gonna go. I just sold myself. I talked myself. It's Kreese. It's Kreese.
There was a lot of racist stuff towards Miyagi, especially in part 3.
Yes, yes, man. I mean, there was definitely different times.
That would not pass nowadays.
No, I mean, they're playing a bad guy, but you might be right. I don't know if anybody would be willing to write it these days.
Yeah,
to be too scared.
There'd be lawsuits. I feel.
That's funny too. Just real quick to bring it up since we're talking about it. There's a one line that one of the creepy guys in my movie says in the stay that's kind of racist, and I remember struggling with it a little bit. Like, I don't know if we should keep this in here, but one of my leads and one of my stars is an African American woman, and I reached out to her. I said, "What do you think? Is this?" And she was like, "No, you leave it in there. It's perfect for what we're trying to get accomplished." And he's playing a part, Scott, and he's playing a character, and this is something he would say. So leave it. It's not. It doesn't offend me at all. And so I was like, okay, because I wanted to get a different perspective. Yeah. That not anything bad was going on. If it's one
line, I can maybe understand it. But like when it's like they did it a ton,
dude. When they
I was like well, overboard.
Yes, I agree. I felt there was some overboard. I think in 3 they were really trying to be bad again and like bring.
They were trying to get a lot of money. I mean, they were trying to make a ton of money off it.
They were, and it felt like the formula. They were trying to bring the formula back to number 1. You know, fighting in the Valley tournament and getting it back from
part 1 over again, sort of.
Yeah, you know, if you really compare the two, it sort of is. It sort of is.
So, what was it like to appear on the episode of The Scandal?
Oh, so it was very exciting and a little from a wanting screen time point, it was a little disappointing. From getting the role on a really good show, it was very exciting because originally it was a 2-episoder and I had a lot more to do, but for whatever reason it kind of got lost in the shuffle. I played a Secret Service agent to the vice president, and
absolutely
the episode that I did was our plane was going down, and so I had it was really cool to be on. I'd never been on a fake plane before. As far as doing all the the fake plane stuff. So all that was great. All the actors were good. The show was solid. I was so grateful to casting for casting me in it and them having me. I was just super bummed that I had this big monologue that got changed. And they're like, we don't think the Secret Service would say this monologue. We think the president would say it. And I'm like, oh, it's your show. And then a lot of it was so fast, but so from an actor's point, I wanted to do my monologue. From being on the show's point of view, A+. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it's a good credit to have. At the end of the day, it just looks good on the resume. It's a good show.
What's up, Matt Lewis, fellow Cobra Kai actor, just joined.
Matt, what's up, man?
So what is your favorite project to work on thus far?
Oh boy, I've been lucky to be on some good stuff. I mean, obviously Cobra Kai ranks way up there because I'm, like we said, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm a fan and a fanboy of it. One that's always near and dear to my heart that really sticks out, and it's kind of in the same world, was my first big break on TV was episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. Which is Chuck Norris. And that one got me in the door, got me into SAG. I had a really big part. I got to go to Texas and shoot it. And I had a lot of scenes with Chuck Norris. So that was another one was like, holy shit, I'm with Chuck Norris. And I hope I can say the S word because I've said it 3 times. And so I got to do a little bit of karate with him, which was mind blowing. And then
definitely. He's a legend.
a legend, right? And for that to be like my first big thing was just, that's why it's always near and dear to my heart. And he was such a nice dude. Like first day I'm on set, he's just like comes up to me. He's like, "Hey Scott, welcome, man. Welcome to Texas. Well, good to have you out here 2 years. Let me know if you need a good place to eat." And like, not every, you would think everybody did that on everything.
But yeah, there's some celebrities that
it's rare.
We're not gonna name, but yeah, I agree.
And it's a business too, so people are busy. They're making a show. He went out of his way to always make me feel at home. So I got that, and a little like obscure fact that for me I knew that I loved is the bad guy in my episode that Chuck Norris saves me from. I play Tommy. I play the star football player who starts doing steroids, and then it's a steroid ring. So Chuck comes in as my teacher and breaks up the steroid ring.
Yeah.
But the bad guy in the main dealer was this actor named Sam Jones, and he played like one of the original Flash Gordon movies. Like it was a big movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was the original Flash Gordon, and I had seen that movie like a million times. It's an old movie, but I still watched it as a kid a million times. So the fact that he was there too for Chuck Norris, I was on overload a little bit. And he's been in so much TV and stuff. He doesn't do as much now. I think he was in Ted, the one with Mark Wahlberg, and playing that thing, he was playing like an icon. Ted and Mark Wahlberg were like, "It's Sam Jones, it's Flash Gordon, dude." Yeah. And that was kind of the same experience that I had. So I would say Walker, Texas Rangers, probably one of my favorite TV shows. Film, I had a bit part in this movie called First Daughter, and the reason I liked it so much is that Forrest Whitaker was a director, so I got to spend the day with him and see him work, and he's amazing, legend. And Michael Keaton is one of my heroes, and he plays the acting heroes. Like if someone said, "Who are your favorite actors?" he's definitely on that list. I unfortunately didn't get to meet him, but to technically say I was in a Michael Keaton movie is a big deal for me. And I got to meet Katie Holmes too, who was super, super nice and super great. So that was like a really cool film to be a part of. Even though I had a very small part in that one, it was, you shouldn't say that. There's no small parts, only small actors, but I just don't want to represent it. I don't want to represent myself like I starred in the film. I just had a small part in it. And I got to meet Forrest Whitaker. I spent the day with him and I'm like, yeah, man, it's Forrest Whitaker. This is pretty cool. Bro, there you go, man. Bloodsport. Yeah, dude. I know. God, he was such a baby then. He was in a movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's like a Sean Penn movie, like a high school movie. And he played like a high school football player. He's awesome in that too. But I loved him in Bloodsport too. I love that movie. I just watched it again like a month ago. Bloodsport rules.
He was actually in a wrestling movie very on in his career, Vision Quest. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was in that. Very small.
Dude, of course I've seen Vision Quest. I freaking love Vision Quest, man. Yeah, dude, I love it. That's you're right. He has a very small part in that as one of the wrestlers. You're 100% right. But no, yeah, I love Vision Quest. Going in there against another good bad guy, shoot, carrying that log up and down on the stadium.
Oh, yeah. He's an awesome guy too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what is your goal, going forward, like through acting? Like, what do you want to accomplish?
That's a good question too. I really feel like now producing these two movies and now really on the stay doing getting to write it and direct it and co-write it and direct it and all that stuff. I really like this living in this space. I think I would love to keep making independent films, keep making and telling my own stories, and then each leveling up each time and really staying in that game, and then also picking off work as just an actor here and there too. I think that would be my dream. Before it was always only acting, but now that I've had a taste of this, making my own stuff, I would love to continue doing that. Like a Jon Favreau or something. He started off making his little independent Maid and Swingers, and now he's doing the Marvel movies. Oh, yeah. It's like that will be like just an insane career trajectory. I mean, that's once in a lifetime. I don't see myself doing Marvel movies, but I would love to be able to, just keep making bigger and bigger movies. So hopefully I get to stay successful, and then we get to do this other one in the summer and that's successful and keep getting big. So I think I want to live in that world, Levi. I think I love the fact of being in charge a little bit more and telling my own stories and bringing my friends on board, maybe that are writers or actors that, you know, have been dying for a break and dying to work, that maybe I can be like the guy to be like, I got
your part, you know.
Here's your break, and then now take this and run with it, man. Do an awesome performance in this and go run with it. I love that too. I would love to be the one to provide opportunities for people, cast and crew as well.
I have a few more questions. I'm trying to be valuable of your time here, but
oh, sure, man. Go ahead.
So, well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but, you know, Chuck Norris, they asked him to be Kreese, but he turned it down.
I did not know that. You got me, man. You got me on one fine. I didn't know that. Ooh, that would have been really cool. Chuck Norris is such a sweet dude. I don't know if he could have played such a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Martin Kove, to me, it's kind of like Miyagi. I don't see anybody else doing it.
Especially now that it's hard to say now that we've seen it. I mean, who knows what Chuck would have brought to the role that would have been different. I didn't know that. I can't imagine, as much as I love Chuck Norris, I can't imagine anybody else playing Kreese. So, but man, that's a cool fun fact I didn't know.
The last question. So what shows and movies have you binged during quarantine?
Good question. I started watching a lot. I started watching just recently. That's why it stuck in my head. I've been watching a bunch. I started watching Billions because I also watched Homeland, and I liked the dude that played Brody in Homeland, and this is his show now on Billions. So I binge watched those two. God, there's so many. Why can't I think of any? Oh, Peaky Blinders. I watched a ton of Peaky Blinders. I watched that Ratchet show because it was a spinoff of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I watched Ratchet. Sure. Where else? A guilty pleasure that me and my girl have been watching like crazy is MTV. MTV's The Challenge. I don't know if you watch that, but I love watching that thing. But and then movies, I've watched a lot of movies. So nothing specific on that. I just anything that I find interesting or anything. Although I always have to be careful because I want to try and watch new stuff. But then I'll be like, I need to find something that looks good, and then all of a sudden I'll see something like Bloodsport and go, oh,
I'm watching
Bloodsport.
I find myself rewatching old classics all the time.
What have you binged so far?
Well, I watched Cobra Kai season 3. I watched Tiger King. I watched that new NASCAR show, The Crew.
Okay, I watched Tiger King too. Good call on that. I watched Tiger King.
Man, there's so much stuff I've watched. Like I watched both the Daddy's Home movies with Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell. So much stuff. I can't even remember. There's
so much content. You're right. And then I try and get the time frame of it too, because Game of Thrones has been off for a little while now, but I had to catch up on that too. I was like, I was into Game of Thrones. Once I watched it, at first I'm like, I'm not getting into that. Then I watched like
I've never seen it. I've heard good things though.
It's fantastic, but I was like, I'm like, man, I got too many other shows. I don't know if I want to watch.
Thank you for coming on today. It was great to be able to chat with you.
Oh, I appreciate it. It was great being able to chat with you, man, and keep in touch. And
awesome. Everybody, what date does the stay come out again?
March 16th, the stay comes out. You can pre-order it now on Apple TV and iTunes, Google Play, and then it comes out and drops everywhere on the 16th. If you want to be a part of that contest,
I'll put the link to that in the description on this.
You're the best.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
All right, Levi. Take care, man. You have a good one. Shit.
I've been watching too much TV. Probably more than anything, but.
Yeah, man. Well, you can't go wrong with that. I just watched Over the Top again. I watched Over the Top again a couple weeks ago.
Over the Top. Yeah, my grandpa, we've been watching that for years.
So great, man. Turn the hat around. Go to business,
the
man.
Switch.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Paul Hurley, man, that guy was awesome. I don't know. The actor died, but yeah.
Yeah.